Good evening, my name's Alex Campbell.
And he's Jasper Moy, and I'm Benedict Cumberbatch.
And you're watching the 6th or 7th episode of Examining Cinema.
Today we are reviewing the Avengers Age of Ultron.
So why did we go to see the Age of Ultron?
So you could cash in on a review just like everybody else. 10 out of 10. Fucking better than bloody, what's the best one? Citizen Kane.
Citizen Kane. No, we I don't know. We decided to go and see Infinity Wars.
Part 1, I guess.
Yeah, it's not normally our type of movie.
But so I would say, and this was so I think we all have individual reasons. You come along because you don't want to be lonely. I would say that
I took my kids to see it.
Well, no one cares.
Just because you don't have a family.
What did we think of the movie?
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I think
Best
that
movie.
it is a reasonable successor to Star Wars for a next generation. Unlike the new Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
I would actually, that's actually very...
Well, for your kids, this
For my
will
kids,
be
yeah,
like
they
what
fucking
Star
loved
Wars
it.
was for me. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Well,
Every time a new character comes on screen, like, it's Doctor Strange, it's Spider-Man, it's Iron Man.
Well, I said that we made the comments during while we were watching the movie. Is this basically the Star Wars that I wanted? Right? I wanted cool space things that are not overdone with at least a solid framework of a story.
I mean, it's the Star Wars. Star Wars. We did get Star Wars. The first Star Wars movie was well done. The action was good.
Oh, Force Awakens.
But I think that the staying power was that it didn't have that sort of philosophical depth that this movie does.
Yeah, well, surprisingly, it had philosophical depth.
Yeah, so Thantos's...
spoilers, right? Spoilers for the whole thing. It's all spoilers,
yeah.
right?
Everyone dies.
We don't care about whether or not you have seen it or not.
No.
It was surprising. So, and the philosophical thing comes into like it's kind of twofold because it's also a character part as well, so your villain's not 2D, which is such a lacking thing in
it's such
Hollywood
a misstep in media.
Yeah.
If you can't relate to the villain, then it's nothing.
So he sees a problem, which I think the problem that he sees is a legitimate problem,
Possibly,
but then his solution is not sort of sound. I think, but regardless of going into all that sort of stuff, that's the impression that we sort of came away with it. You can at least see where he's coming from with these motivations.
And I thought Gamora, who was a pre-established character who we spent a lot of time, it's good that she was like an anchor to his emotions.
Yeah, well, he had emotions.
Yeah, we didn't just start afresh with him. We had that insight into him.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then at the end when she's like, the little Gamora child's like, what did it cost you? And he's like, everything.
Everything.
And he's all sad and like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's right.
but then he gets to sit on a mountain at the end.
Then he's like in Malaysia, like drinking a pina colada.
Yeah.
The credits roll. It's like, okay.
If you like pina coladas, getting caught in the rain.
Yeah, it's not just going to be that he's able to be content and go and retire on some planet like he wanted to and be left in peace now that he's done what he wants to do. It's going to be, they're going to go find him on his paradise planet or whatever.
Well, that's obviously a sequel. I actually would have really liked it all to end and wrap up here.
Same.
They obviously love money, so they can't stop the franchise ever.
Money.
Go on and on.
Forever. But I think that ending would have been a really good series ending. Like half your characters
Super depressing.
fade into dust. They're left all perplexed, and Thanos is drinking a margarita.
Now, so and Jasper was sort of like this because Jasper says things that no one else agrees with. Is that
He's radical.
Free radical. Is that it's basically a children's movie. They're all children's movies.
Yeah,
and that's a valid criticism.
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to exit the donut.
Like, I agree with you with regards to the opening scene was very brutal. It was really dark and it was really brutal and it was a lot more mature than what what you may have been expecting from a comic book movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? But I am of the opinion of, that's where the whole franchise should have been when it first started.
I agree.
That should have been the. That level of maturity. Stop pandering to people and treating them like.
But that's the DC universe. We're serious. We're dark. We're violent. This is Guardians of the Galaxy fun, upbeat music.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that the problem with the DC universe is that
poor writing, poor management, poor producers.
Right. Whereas that is exactly right. Whereas Marvel has good acting, good writing.
Well, at least baseline, they've got everything except
so it gets irritating for me, especially like I'm not a massive comic book fan, but I do have some knowledge of the source material, and the comic books are fucking dark.
Yeah,
that's what people like about them.
Well, so I think that
and the comic books are for kids too. It's like we need to protect our children.
It's the mainstream Hollywood thing. Once they slap an MA rating on it, they're going to lose a shitload of money from that. It's like mass part of their demographic.
It's like Tarantino and saying that fucking
he's doing
saying that
he creates violence.
Kill Bill was a really good movie for 13-year-olds.
Yeah.
Right, and I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah,
and I think that this movie is a great movie for a 6-year-old.
Well, I think, and we see it in reviews that you and I do of other stuff. Is that our preference is something a lot darker and mature.
Twisted,
I mean, it is what it is. I think I appreciated any other more, like say, for instance, from anything else that was happening. It's like maybe I appreciated the Winter Soldier more than I appreciated the first Captain.
Overrated.
You know,
go back and look at those stories that they used to tell kids in Sunday school.
Well, yeah, like the brothers Grimm.
Yeah, right. That's what kids like.
The axeman cuts open the wolf's stomach and pulls granny out.
Kids don't like this fucking handheldy bullshit.
I mean, your kids liked it.
No, the kids loved it.
We have what Thanos wants, so that's what we use.
For what it was, for what I expected for this franchise, I think it was fulfilling, exciting. Wasn't really disappointing. There were a few moments where we were like.
The battle.
So there are at least two that come to mind immediately, right?
Yeah.
And there's one that really pisses me off. So I'll do the one that pisses me off is and this I guess sort of fits into Quill's character. Yeah. Right? So they've got Thanos after a very fulfilling fight.
The way they orchestrated all the Avengers members to come in and pin Thanos down, it played into all of
that was great. The whole way.
Choreographed beautifully.
Well, it's telling a story through physical action.
Well,
they did that really well.
Full attention.
It's an example of how to actually deal with an an overpowered character, and how do heroes deal with someone who they can't beat. And it's like you get the MacGuffin, which is he can't close his fist. So they design everything around that. Right, that's fine. They get him. They're about to take the glove off him.
Super tension.
And it's super tension, and then it's like then Quill comes out of nowhere and finds out that he killed Gamora. And it's like, okay, right?
Get the glove off.
And then Stark says, you just got to calm down.
Let's get the glove off, and then we can do this later.
And I sort of I'm watching it, I'm okay, now movie, now subvert my expectations. That will be very pleasant, please, or else because you will just completely ruin this entire scene.
But he can't help but just get absorbed in those emotions and not see the big picture, not analyse what's going on.
But like Stephen said, that was the perfect time to subvert that expectation. It's like surprise you, have something else happen that causes Thanos to regain control of himself.
And it wasn't fulfilling. Like as soon as he fucked it all up.
Coming.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good. Wow.
And so then the second major thing is and this is a mainstay of modern Hollywood films, which is CGI fatigue.
Battle fatigue.
Well, I think that really came from those rabid monsters on the battlefield. It was just like a horde of monsters.
Let's set the stage first. So what it was it was the Gungans with their magic versus the Trade Federation.
Star Wars Episode 1, the shield thing. It was that set piece again, and it was intercutting that within Iron Man fighting Thanos and all that. So there's two. What's his name?
Thanos.
Fanta. You had Iron Man fighting Fanta. You had Iron Man fighting the Gungans, you had the Wakandans fighting Fanta, and they cut it all off, and it was 2 hours in,
and you're just like, by that point you're done. But that was the problem with it, is that you had this really good scene where they told a story through action, and then you go to the Wakandan battle scene, and there's no story. It's just a mob of people versus a mob of aliens, and they weren't telling any sort of, where they had the opportunity to tell that battle plan story where you're moving troops and you're doing this.
You can make stakes as high stakes.
I wasn't invested in that story. I cared about Iron Man.
That's because there wasn't any story.
I didn't care about Captain America. I didn't care about what was happening.
No.
What was happening? They were trying to get visions.
What was happening was they were standing on a field killing monsters. And
then they open it and they just charge in.
Yeah, it was stupid. Strategy all went out the window. I'll go back to Thor Ragnarok actually. It's that the CGI set pieces in Thor Ragnarok, especially the final confrontation with Kate Blanchett. CGI is fucking amazing because there's crazy fucking shit going on. It needs to be 10 minutes of that. 10 minutes. Right? You cut all the crap away in 10 minutes and you lead up to that, and suddenly you've gone from like a good movie, good pacing to.
I remember Jackson talking about Helm's Deep, and originally the battle went for like 40 minutes. Like 40 minutes of the film was battle, and I watched it and cut it down to 30 minutes, and cut it down to 20 minutes. And he said it just flowed way better. You cut out half of the battle.
In response to sort of that, what we've been saying, and like Black Panther, is that a lot of the characters that are present in Infinity War were established in previous movies, and that's where people are coming in from. And it's almost a prerequisite to basically, which is not good. That's not a good thing to have a prerequisite for your movie. Right, it isn't. It's a complicated issue. That's not traditionally the way things are done. But regardless, right? And they do good at sort of pre-establishing to catch people up. But the Black Panther thing, they didn't catch anybody up. A person that didn't know anything about Black Panther, doesn't know any of these characters.
Have been living under a rock.
But literally. But that's what you assume. That's what you assume.
I didn't see the movie, and there were a few moments, like with his sister is the young girl. She's fixing Vision.
The Mary Sue.
Yeah, who is she?
I'm not gonna watch Black Panther, so it doesn't fucking matter. Fuck Black Panther and its political fucking bullshit.
I'm not really interested in watching
I don't care. I'm kids movie.
It is. It's a kids movie.
No, it's a spectrum movie. It's like kids and to whatever 25.
Well, you got some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, but if you're
but you're criticising the Uber
when it comes out on Netflix and my kids are watching it, I might watch it.
I'm not super invested in it.
I'm not invested.
In saying that again, and so this is something that I've always had, is I just want more sci-fi. That's what I want.
Well, the scope of this film was far more vast than it's ever been. I hated all the Thors because you'd have the cool space stuff and cut back to Natalie Portman. It'd be so grounded and the scope and scale would be so tiny, but this was great. Iron Man and Spider-Man get on that ship and they fly to the fucking space.
Well, that's what it had.
You never hear from Iron Man.
Pepper Potts.
Yeah, you don't hear from.
You don't see Natalie Portman. You don't see
two broke girls.
With
the beanie and
the scope was massive. It had all the different storylines playing out simultaneously too.
Well, so it actually had something from Rogue One, which actually made me very excited while I was watching Rogue One until Rogue One turned into a piece of shit. Right, which is the set pieces. They're having the sci-fi set pieces. It's like now we're at this crazy planet that is implied just through visual, this backstory of chaotic crap that's happened, and now we're having this cool, totally different aesthetic set piece, which is really cool and implies like this whole fucking open universe.
When I'm done, half of humanity will still exist.
The forge with the neutron star was a really cool idea. It ties into the Norse mythology with the dwarves and stuff. And you got Peter Dinklage playing the giant dwarf, but he's still a dwarf.
Cool. Yeah,
that was clever. His acting seemed a bit much though.
Oh yeah, he's trying to do something. It was a bit weird.
He was doing a voice. Maybe it's because I'm so used to seeing him be Tyrion.
Yeah.
But he was like, oh, you gotta do this, do this, do that.
Yeah.
If you didn't notice, you didn't notice. For a few moments, I'm like, well, it's fine.
He's coming to us.
I feel like, and so with the Thor thing, which was an entire like sub-storyline in of itself, I feel like, and again, back to pacing, is that there were a lot of stuff going on in terms of like character subplots and threads and stuff, and it was all juggled really well.
Yeah.
At no point did I feel like, well, I mean, maybe there were one or two points.
No, it was paced very
it was
well.
like, well, you know, this is fucking cool. Oh yeah, I know what's going on. Blah blah blah. Another thing is the banter between all, because now we're assembling all the characters, right? We've got,
and you have different movies with different tones, and I thought the Guardians of the Galaxy thing, I didn't really like the idea of them being interjected into this, because tonally it's a lot more funny and quippy and all that, but I thought they handled that quite well.
I think that people like Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Pratt and Rocket Raccoon or whatever,
Bradley Cooper.
they all play off each other really well.
They're great A-list actors. They've got good dialogue written. They know their characters.
Even Thor, what's his name?
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, you know, he played in the banter. So
that was a scene where he's talking to Rocket, and Rocket's like, "Are you okay?"
Keeps calling him a rabbit.
And I'm like, he was like emotionally broken, but it was subtle.
Yeah.
Like a lesser actor would have overdone that.
The part where he laughed and was like, "Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, the rage, that really gets you going." And you can see it in him. That was a really subtle way of acting. That was actually really
a lesser actor would have.
And it was that monologue close-up shot.
There was a lot of subtlety in this movie in terms of just again character interactions and things, right? There was a lot less explaining for the camera, and we talked about this in the latest Stargate,
which is the worst.
It's like, this is why this happens, but
audience.
There was a lot. It's like
the exposition seemed natural and casual, like the characters were having.
Well, and it's also that the fact that all these characters are meeting each other for the first time makes that easier.
That's true.
Well, and they handled that really well too.
Yeah, that could have been a lot more tedious.
I think though there were a couple of tedious bits. There was at least one. I think it was
when the Guardians come into contact
with Stark and
Doctor Strangelove.
And it's like, and then it takes them so long to get to the. You know, are you working for Thanos? It's like, okay, that took like 5 minutes to get, because once they say Thanos, they realise that neither of them are working for Thanos.
And you know they're going to come to the conclusion that he's
and she's like, just get it over and done with. You know, But
that was one of the few times.
I had two dreams when we started this a little over 10 years ago, Marvel Studios. One was that Iron Man worked. The other one was that we could build something that was as expansive and as experiential as what people who've read comics over the years could get.
And in the comics, different superheroes meeting up with each other and getting into fights initially, that's a time-honored.
That's true. It was cool to see Quill go toe to toe.
To see what happens when.
Again, like I'm tiny bit invested in most of the characters. I mean, primarily though, like Stark and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
like
I like Thor.
Yeah, well, I like Thor now after seeing Ragnarok.
Doctor Strangelove.
No, it does. Well, Strangelove was a garbage movie except for the
Stanley Kubrick's How I Learned to Love the Bomb. I was doing that thing the whole time.
That is a very good movie.
Where's the bathroom?
Buck, should I get it?
On the hotline.
Doctor Strangelove.
Marvel Doctor Strangelove movie was terrible.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how it got rated, but it was.
I didn't like it.
I watched bits of it.
Yeah. I think at this point in the narrative, the stakes are so high, we've been building to this and building to it for 10 years and 18 movies. I think Tony should have died. I really like that whole scene building up to it and the conflict. I felt invested, and then when he didn't die and he just sprayed a little thing on his wound, I felt robbed.
Well, but they had the emotional...
I don't know.
They had the emotional damage too. They had him suffer through his protege dying, which I didn't really care about.
I would have liked to have seen him suffer more. I don't know. There wasn't really
I agree. Yeah, I wanted
dying. I wanted to see him suffer.
He suffered a lot through the movie.
Well, but like no, there was in particular there was a scene where Thanos is punching Tony Stark in the head whilst Tony Stark is on the ground, and that scene is something that you've seen in movies a lot, where one character is over the top of another and he's punching them into the ground, especially in the Marvel movies. Yeah. It's a scene that can be shot in such a way to make every punch impactful, and to really show.
It needed to be from Tony's perspective, looking up at Phantos.
And also the punches needed to be given more impact,
more bass,
and that I think would have really made that scene shine. Well, I don't think we needed him to die. I just think we needed to see him suffer.
Don't get me wrong, I like Tony and I don't want him to die, but I think that would have been a big moment for audiences. Like, holy shit, they just killed Iron Man.
It's the night before the dawn. That's what what we're at. We're at the night. So we have our heroes brought to their lowest point.
But I mean, Gamora died. I mean, and all the people who Thanos disappeared are coming back.
I like the robot daughter actually as a character.
Yeah.
She's a cool sci-fi character.
It's nice that those, the
torture scene,
that was really cool. Barry was like slowly,
very brutal.
And had a perspective where she was all connected. That was really well done.
Yeah. So there were a lot of actually really interestingly shot. Even the one where they're walking out into the street
initially
for the first time,
from Doctor Strange.
Yeah, no, that looked
it's all one shot, and you got all the people.
Lots of practical effects.
And the sees that something's going on, but he like jogs out into it anyway, stands up tall, and that looked really good.
You just think about the time and effort it would take to choreograph that shot with all the extras and all the cars and the wind blowing.
Well, they're well practiced at that now.
Yeah.
In time, you will know what it's like to lose. To feel so desperately that you're right, yet to fail all the same.
It's Doctor Strange and it's Thanos. Right, and so basically
Doctor Strange, Love, and Fanta.
He's the great Fanta. He's great Fanta.
What's his
Grimace.
Grimace.
Which is great. No, well, that's what I said, Stephen. It's also a period reference as well, because
Grimace isn't a thing now.
Grimace isn't a thing now, but it would have been. But when fucking
they got rid of him because he's morbidly obese.
Ronald, the Happy Meal isn't happy.
He's got diabetes.
He is the embodiment of a milkshake
of McDonald's.
That's what his character is.
Yeah, right. So if you go through, and this is the sort of superhero thing, is that they basically establish for all the characters tiers of different powers, basically, right? And so you end up seeing Doctor Strange's his OP power, which is thanks to the time crystal, which is he can look forward in time and see all possible outcomes and alternate futures, right? And so he does that once, and you go, okay, why are you doing that now as opposed to before? And why don't you just do that all the time?
They should have him in a room, just bleeding him of information.
In an undisclosed location in space, in like a solid, box, right, made of the strongest metal ever.
This is what you need to do. This is your script. Okay.
And so and then with Thanos, so firstly he was like punching people that should like crush their skulls. Right? It's like
stuff. Why didn't he kill Captain America?
Well, so why didn't he go get the time crystal first?
Yeah.
If he got the time crystal first, he could have sacrificed Gamora to get the soul crystal, then reverse time so Gamora wasn't dead.
True, yeah.
Like he could have done all these things, but he just went and got the time crystal first.
If he gets the reality crystal first, he can just change reality so he has all the other crystals in his head. Well, the reality crystal got the rest of the crystals. Well,
it's like when he spaghettifies the chick from the Guardians of the Galaxy, and he cubifies
Drax. That guy.
Yeah, cubifies him. But then when he leaves, they go back together. It's so he can only change reality while he's paying attention.
Even so, that ability, even discounting the fact that when he leaves, they get reassembled like that, he has the ability to completely and instantly incapacitate everybody that he looks
all the time.
And so that is a top tier power now. It's like he should. I expect him to use that one scene. I expect him to use that at every single opportunity.
Well, when he lands at the end to get the final crystal from Vision, instead of fucking around with all land,
he could have just been like, does he need to individually?
Maybe he was having fun.
No. There was definitely a side of tension from his desire.
He wasn't having fun. He was all depressed and sad.
He kept getting punched in the head. Does he enjoy getting punched in the head?
No.
And so it's
I don't think he does.
Also,
that annoyed me a lot. Maybe he's mentally retarded.
Oh yes, they're all mentally.
I mean, his ideologies.
They're Hollywood characters.
Yeah, that's
so they're all handicapped.
Also, when he got the crystals right, couldn't he have made the universe have more resources?
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah, that's the other thing. So his issue is that the universe is finite
and has finite resources,
and there are too many people.
Maybe, and therefore has finite resources, which maybe.
Yeah.
It's like, but then. So life grows exponentially, so therefore the amount of life will eventually come to a point
where all the resources.
I mean, Tony has nanobots. He could synthesize food and resources.
But that violates whatever thermodynamics or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can't create something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Unless you've got
has an equal and opposite reaction.
Unless saying that you've got the amount of life is such that there will be suffering. So if you destroy half of the life, then the resources will be there for
reallocated to the rest.
Yeah, it doesn't really make sense when you dive down into it.
The problem with it is if life is growing exponentially, then that's just setting that back. Life is going to grow up again.
Yeah, he's going to have to do it every few hundred years.
And so this is symptomatic, and that's why I would say that probably it's definitely not a sci-fi movie. It's definitely a sci-fantasy movie, right? Like sort of Star Wars, basically.
Action schlock.
Yeah, well, so it suffers from the Hollywood syndrome of it's surface level. Though it was a little bit deeper than a normal.
No, yes, that's true.
Right, cut out a bit of the humor and stuff.
Yeah,
tone was a bit more serious.
And so not so much the tone is a bit more serious. It's got deeper levels to it, which was really nice and enjoyable.
It was refreshing.
The first Iron Man had that with that commentary.
Well, the first Iron Man
was good.
Great movie.
Yeah, really great.
Yeah, lots of political.
The first Thor movie was terrible.
First Captain America movie was garbage.
Why?
I had a lot of faith in Kevin Feige and people at Marvel. You want to give them everything you got because they're going to give everything they got.
You can only dive down so far, but you can dive down further than you normally could with most Hollywood.
Yeah, you can pick it apart a bit more and think about it and talk about it.
Yeah, which means it adds more depth.
It's certainly less 2D. So another thing is besides all the attacks and stuff is and like motivations and why Thanos isn't doing this and why this character isn't doing that. The sacrificing. So I guess the Doctor Strange thing gets a pass because he saw a future.
Yeah, well,
that
was the only.
We'll talk about it, right? Is basically during the beginning, Doctor Strange tells Tony Stark about the time crystal, and he says basically, if it comes down to it, I will let all of you die to save the time crystal and stop Thanos from getting it. And that's the conflict, and Tony's like, once you destroy it, and he's like, no, I can't, blah, blah, blah. Right? And so then at the end of the film,
he gives the time
crystal to save Tony's life.
Yeah.
Now, so that gets a pass because
he foresaw the future.
And
that was the one possibility out of the 16.
Which is kind of, it's maybe kind of a cop out as far as we're keeping this character alive, but that's fine. You can go as far as you want into that. The one thing that is totally inexcusable, which is the exact same scenario. Right, is what's his name with the crystal in his
Vision.
Head? Vision is basically begging the Scarlet Witch to
kill him.
Yeah, destroy the crystal.
Yeah,
at almost like at the beginning.
Because he's the smart.
I'm happy to go. This is so much bigger than just me.
Yeah. Destroy it, and we don't have to have.
It totally makes sense. It makes total sense.
Yeah.
She can't honor the wish of her loved one, and blah blah blah, because she's the only one.
And then they can have the scene emotionally. They can show that it's hard, but it's a logical thing to do.
And it makes sense. But then you wouldn't have a movie.
But then Thanos could just go back in time a month and get it.
Well, we don't know what.
Thanos.
I don't know what the limitations of his powers are because it's so
inconsistent.
Well, no, it's not inconsistent. They just didn't explain.
Well, so again, but just those sort of.
That would have been tedious.
Those sort of things without just piss me off because it's like it clearly it's characters that refuse to see reason no matter what.
The end is near.
The death of Vision was very brutal.
Yeah, that was cool.
I liked how he just went colourless.
And like that
was really cool.
Having his
well, it's exactly what I expected, right? It's exactly what I expected to happen, which is nice. There are a lot of deaths or whatever, or like killings and things like that happened exactly the way that I would like them to happen.
And they rode the line quite well to still keep it M, still keep it.
Was it MVP? PG?
M.
Oh, okay. No, fair
Fanny
enough.
got stabbed, yeah. But like, if that was Lord of the Rings movie, it would have been shot completely different.
No.
If that was a Tarantino movie, you would have seen Gamora like.
If he gets all the Infinity Stones, he can do it with the snap of his fingers.
One last thing, right, and this is prediction, basically, and it diverts over two paths, right? So now we've killed off half the universe and we've killed off a lot of our superheroes and characters, right? Is that if they want to continue the series after making these superhero movies after the Infinity War movies, right? They're gonna have to revive all the characters,
Well,
and they're gonna have the Dragon Ball set.
Thanos is Frieza.
Yeah, Thanos is Frieza. He's got the Dragon Balls.
The Infinity Stones are the Dragon Balls.
And so at the end of the next movie, if they're going to want to continue making movies, they're going to assemble them all and bring everybody back. La 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 la. If they're not,
and then the Infinity Stones will go out across the universe again. That's what's going to happen.
Oh my god! This is just Dragon Ball Z!
Huh? What? How?
Welcome back, partner.
Oh, wow. Wait a minute. I'm back alive!
You're killing me! Or they leave.
You're going to have an Namekian walk on screen just at the end.
Yeah, Shinron the dragon.
Yeah.
You have assembled the Infinity Stone.
Thanks for your money! or they're going to leave them all to die, which I would be more happy with.
That would be nice, but that's not what's going to happen.
That's not what's
Gamora's going to stay dead, but the people who...
Gamora's going to come back because she's a love interest.
It's the love interest thing.
That would cut a big piece out of Guardians of the Galaxy. But I think they should do it.
Yeah, they should.
They should leave all of them dead.
They should kill Don Cheadle. He looks so fucking old. Also, how much longer does Robert Downey Jr. have? I was looking at him and Gwyneth Paltrow at the beginning, and all the wrinkles in the neck and all the crowfeet and the dyeing his beard.
Please kill me!
Yeah, well, Robert Downey Jr.'s got to get back on the crack yet, man.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, he retires and then he starts smoking crack again.
Day one.
Oh man, now that my acting days are over, I can sit back and fucking smoke crack.
1996, the actor violated his probation when he fled from a detox center. His rehab stemming from several drug and weapons arrests, but a judge sent him back. A year later, he skipped a court-ordered drug test and spent the next 4 months in the LA County Jail. 1999, Downey skipped another drug test and was sent back to rehab. But this time, a judge gave Downey hard time, state prison for nearly 1 year.
Okay, I believe that concludes proceedings.
Yeah, so in the next movie, Captain Marvel is going to come in. It's going to be Tom Cruise.
That would be amazing.
And it's going to be a heist movie with all women and Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Like Rocky has to like come down on the Mission Impossible and steal the star. And there's like a laser thing.
There's no subtlety. It's literally like
yeah. It's just
Tom Cruise is on the cable making one movie.
Oh, that's fucking silly.
That'd be great.
Just kill me, fam.
So yeah, in conclusion, satisfying, pretty good. Good action scenes. It wasn't amazing.
I don't know if it was worth $20, but
I only paid 15.
Kids liked it. Oh yeah, look, it's not gonna, well, if you are an adult and this movie changes your life, then there's something wrong with you.
Kill yourself.
Then you need to rethink your life.
So yeah, it was entertaining.
It's a good film.
It's entertaining.
Yeah, no, I was also my eyes were glazed over so much less than I've come to expect from the cinema experience at this point. The last like 3 movies that I've seen, I guess besides like say Fury Road and Hateful Eight.
Those 2 exceptions in the last 5 years.
5 years, a lot less eye glazing.
Alright, thank you for watching. Really help out. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever man. I don't care.
Yeah,
thanks for your money, says Hollywood.
They didn't.
No one's giving you money, Stephen.
No, people giving us money for this?
No, Hollywood.
Give me money for my Patreon account. I haven't set up because no one's going to give me money.
Money.
And I'll spend it on drugs! Drugs!